This year, I've been in Toastmasters, I think, for 22 years. This year, it was tapped to help start a Remax Toastmasters within my own club. So a couple of my Toastmasters people, raise your hand, are here at my urging because I wanted them to see, and it's part of my introduction to our speaker, what a Toastmaster is like in full action, with full tilt, and what Toastmasters can do for you in the big world. Our speaker today, James Jeffley, I came to know through my association of Toastmasters. We're both in the same district, District 57. I started in Pleasanton, I was in Emeryville, I was in Danville, now I'm back in Pleasanton for my group, and his club was out in Oakland. What happens in Toastmasters every year, it's like the March Madness, the Final Four. We do the same thing in Toastmasters, but it culminates at the World Champion of Public Speaking. James Jeffley has been there, not once, but twice. And Fluke B that I had just signed up to be at both of those. So James and I know a little bit about each other through that organization. We've also been on Toastmaster TV Time, which is this little public TV thing that we do, and it gets taped and probably nobody sees it, probably 100 people. But it gives you one more skill about doing your craft on camera. And so that's how I know James. And so there's another side of James that I don't know much about, but I wanted to tap into that because I wanted to bring him and his experience and wisdom to our group because I know nobody in this room has heard him speak before. And one of our values this year is to bring in new energy and new things and provide value for our members. So with that, not going to give too much away, please welcome James Jeffley.
Good morning! Jim mentioned my name is James Jeffley, but when I'm wearing my minister hat, I'm known as Reverend Up. Oh. And what I'd like you to do is turn to someone next to you, make eye contact, and I want you to say to this person with power, clarity, and conviction, up yours. Tell some of you have been waiting to say that to them for a long time. You finally got your chance. When I say that phrase, up yours, I do not mean it as an insult. Rather, I mean it as an invitation. It is an invitation to you to raise every part of your life up to a higher level of peace. A higher level of joy, a higher level of satisfaction, a higher level of results, a higher level of consciousness. How many of you want to dial some part of your life up this year? Anybody? That's part of the reason why you're in this organization, is to learn how to dial your, whether it's insurance or lending or realty, how to dial that aspect of your career up to a higher level. So today, what I want to talk to you a little bit about is success and how we do that. And before we start talking about success, I think one of the founding principles of attracting success is gratitude. There was something that Eckhart Tolle said, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, thank you, thank you, it will be enough. So why don't you take a moment right now and think about one thing for which you are grateful in your life. Just one thing. How do you feel when you focus on gratitude? Awesome, pretty good, humble, fulfilled. If you don't mind sharing, just turn to the person next to you, one word, not a conversation. Tell them the one thing that you feel grateful for in this moment. invitation to come and speak to you today. Thank you very much, Gina, for having me. Thank you all for having me here today. So I want to talk about how to up your success. How does that sound? Yeah. Woo! How do we do that? Has anybody figured that out? Is there a formula? Is there a secret?
Right goals.
Right goals, mindset, absolutely all of that. Consistency, absolutely, and you know all about that. Outstanding, congratulations. I think the first stage with dialing anything up in my life starts with awareness. So I'm going to ask you on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 meaning and 10 meaning woohoo, couldn't be better. How happy are you with your life right now? 0 to 10, how happy are you? You don't have to say it out loud, but I see somebody's taking notes. You want to write it down. I love the note takers in the room. How happy are you with your life right now? It's just a snapshot in time. Hello there. Second question. How happy do you want to be? I hope that's a higher number. No doubt on that one. Here's where you are right now, some number. And then there's the number you'd like to get to. You have that in mind? Okay. Now tell the person next to you the number you'd like to get to. Who said 10? Why stop there? She goes to 11. She goes to 11. The only limitations in your life are the ones you create or are willing to accept. 10 is fine if that's where you want to go, but if you go, oh, 11, I'm going to do 11, then you go to 11, go to 12, go to 15. Don't let anybody limit you. There's a wonderful singer, I just became acquainted with him. Have you heard of the NPR Tiny Desk concerts? Yeah. Look that up on YouTube, it's great. His name is, I think, PJ Morton. He has a line in a song, he says, I'm claustrophobic, I can't fit inside the tiny box you want to put me in. I'm claustrophobic, I can't fit inside of your small mind. Whatever that number is, that higher number you want to get to, success looks a certain way to you at that level, yes? Yes? Yes. So, for some of us, it looks like lots of money. Is that in your higher level of success for anybody? Lots of money? Yeah, maybe. For some of us, it's a nice house. Or a nicer house. For some of us, it's a fancy car. Vroom, vroom. For some of us, it's exotic travel. How many of you would like to travel someplace exotic this year? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Fiji, there you go. I love their water. How many of you want to have a more fulfilling career? Yes? Yes. Okay. For some of you, that vision might be loving relationship. Yes? Or all of the above. For some of you, it might be being healthy, mind, body, and spirit. Yes? Whatever success looks like for you, I believe that it starts with vision. It starts with awareness and then vision. So what I'd like you to do is create that vision of that higher level of satisfaction. Go inside. What does that look like to you? Don't worry about how you get there. We're not doing that yet. Focus on the vision. See it. Call it into your consciousness. Are you starting to imagine it? Close your eyes if you want to. But how? How do I get there? We're not doing how. Stop it. We're not doing how. This is where people get sidetracked on the path to success. They get hung up on the how. Oh, I want this, but how do I make that happen? And boom, that's where all of the little gremlins are that will talk you out of it. Well, I don't know. It's going to be too hard. I'm not sure. I've never done that before. Stop it. Stay here in the vision. What does that higher level of success look like for you? Picture it. Now, what does it feel like? Can you see it? What's it feel like?
Awesomeness.
Awesomeness. Write that down. What's it feel like?
Awesome is good.
Awesome is good. What's it feel like?
In my groove.
in my groove, doing her groove thing. That's the perfect place to be. How many of you believe in the law of attraction? Anybody? Okay. I have a subtle shift on that. It's not necessarily the law of attraction, it's the law of reflection. Ooh. Ooh. And so as we think thoughts, that creates an energetic field in the universe. As we speak words, that creates energy in the universe. As we act, we are putting energy into the universe. And as Deepak Chopra says, the universe is just one giant field of potentiality. So whatever we are putting out there energy-wise is being reflected back to us. So if I'm not attracting the level of success that I want, that I envision, maybe it's because I'm not staying in the energy of what that looks and feels like. So I need to be reminded of that constantly. I need to have pictures of that. Anybody have a vision board? Great. Does it work for you? Do you find that you usually manifest what you have envisioned in your board? If you have not used a vision board, create one. How do I do that? Get some pictures of your vision. Go to YouTube, go to Google, go to wherever. Find some things, screenshot them, print them, put them on a piece of paper, put them on your refrigerator. Hang them up. Howard Thurman said, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. It's so easy to get caught up in the mundane of this existence, yes? Oh, I've got to get up. I've got to go to work today, help people find a house. Figure out all the crazy mortgage things that are going on, the financial solutions, get the insurance and the title. Oh, I just love escrow. Ooh. We can get distracted by all of the details and the minutia of living. But if you wake up with that vision of what you want to have, do, or be, and you have reminders around you, and you surround yourselves with like-minded people, it's amazing how often you can have, do, or be what you have imagined. Am I making this up?
No.
If you want to drive faster to your destination, you use the carpool lane. But that means you got to bring some folks with you who are also like-minded. As it works for carpools, it works for success. So keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, about the energy you put out is what you get back. I spell success with 3 C's. Is he illiterate? No. I went to college. I didn't major in English, but I spell success with 3 C's, and I want to tell you what those 3 C's mean in the time that I have. The first C of my success is courage. Once you have that vision of what you want to have, do, or be, and you feel the energy of that, you're surrounded by like-minded people, and you have the visual reminders of that, the next foundational piece in creating what you want is courage. There was a spiritual teacher whom I'm very fond of, who's passed on. His name was Osho. Anybody heard of Osho? Osho once wrote, "Courage is a love affair with the unknown." That may be a bit counterintuitive because for a lot of us, we tend to fear the unknown, yes?
Yes.
I don't know what's out there behind that door. Oh no! It could be lions, tigers, bears, oh my! How many of you have talked yourself out of a thing without ever having experienced the thing? Yes? And then later you find out from someone else, "Oh my God, you should have been there, it was incredible, where were you?" "Well, I don't know, I was at home. I thought it was going to be horrible." No! They were just passing out buckets of money. Oh, I missed the buckets of money thing? Yes. Yes. Because of fear. Courage is a love affair with the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to show up and see. What's that old line? Success is 90% of success is just showing up. I love what Osho said furthermore about courage. He said, you cannot be truthful if you're not courageous. Does it take courage to speak your truth? Oh, I have this thing to say, but I don't know if they're going to like it or if I'm going to be shunned. or if they won't like me anymore, if they won't invite me to the next breakfast, I don't know. And then you wind up not speaking your truth. And that nags at you. Anybody ever been kept awake at night by that little voice in your head going, you know, you should have said that thing. Why didn't you say that thing? Oh, you're not getting sleep. Oh, no, we're going to remind you. And then that other thing that you didn't say, and then the thing before that. No, stop the voice in my head. But if you have a thing to say, to do, show up. It takes courage to be truthful. He said you cannot be loving if you're not courageous. Does it take courage to love?
Yes.
Absolutely. And again, and again, and again. However many times it takes till you get it right. But it takes courage to be loving. He said it takes courage to be trusting. Does it take courage to trust?
Yes.
But what if they let me down? What if they betray me? Yeah, they might. They might come good for you too. They might be the most loyal friend you've ever had. He said you cannot inquire into reality if you're not courageous. The moment we start questioning things can be very scary. Because we walk into every new situation, every inquiry with old knowledge, old experiences, old habits, old beliefs. The moment we start questioning things is the moment we put all of those old thoughts, habits, beliefs on the table and we open them up for examination. Ooh, I just asked a question I've never asked before. And the answer that I got contradicts what I always thought. What do I do with this now? That's what cognitive dissonance is. You heard of that? Right? I've got this thing that I've always thought was true, and now I have an experience that is the direct opposite of that. My head's about to explode. I don't know. This is uncomfortable. I don't know what to do with that. And sometimes it does not take a major revelation to make you feel uncomfortable. Put your hands out in front of you. Interlock your fingers. Notice which thumb is on top. For some of you it's the left, for others it's the right. Does this feel comfortable?
Yes.
Great. Pull them apart, make one tiny shift, and put them back together with the opposite thumb on top. How does this feel? Oh, no! So what do you want to do? Go back to the way you've always done it. Not because it's better, not because it's more effective. It's just more comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of success. Comfort is the enemy of change. Do not get caught up lying down in the lazy boy of life. Nothing grows in a comfort zone. Hence, courage comes first, and everything else follows. Courage comes first. You can have the most elaborate dream and vision in the world, but unless you muster up the courage to walk into that, you won't realize it. You've been on an amazing journey. 170 pounds down, but it took courage for you to start that journey, yes? And it wasn't always easy, but you kept showing up, consistency. Courage comes first, everything else follows. So I'm going to ask you a question. What part of your life is asking for courage right now? What part of your life is asking you to step up, be just a little more courageous? I would invite you to answer that call. And whatever courage looks like for you, step into that. Take a baby step, maybe not a full-blown jump, but take a step in that direction. So the first C in our success as we dial our life up is what? Courage. The second C is competence. Ooh. Oh my. What is competence? What is competence? It's not a trick question. You know what you're doing. It's the ability to do a thing and to do it well. How many of you would say you're competent enough at your job? How many of you would say you can stand to be just maybe a tiny bit more competent? Anybody? Always. I think there are 3 pillars of competence, and the first pillar is knowledge. We must always be pushing ourselves to learn more, to learn different, right? Talk to people that don't look or sound like us and find out what's important to them. What do they know? What unique experience or history do they bring to the table? Because we're just expanding this thing called consciousness. We're expanding this thing called life. Whatever you need to know to be a better whatever you are. Realtor, loan originator, insurance person. Learn as much as you can about your particular skill. But don't stop there. Go talk to those other people. That's why I love what you're doing here. Find out what they do in their world and how it interacts and relates to your world. Up your knowledge. Second pillar, skills. How do we develop skills? Practice. Practice makes what?
Perfect.
Consistent. Practice makes consistent. Practice makes comfortable. Practice makes familiar. I have no idea about perfection, except that it doesn't exist. Talk to your therapist about that. But if you want to get better at something, you got to work at it, right? Some things you can master immediately, like chewing gum. Other things, like most of what you all do, that's going to take a minute. And by a minute, I mean years. The third pillar is you have to have an attitude. Not an attitude, but a positive, yes I can figure it out, yes I'm open attitude. How many of you have known people or worked with people who just had a negative, defeatist attitude? Right?
Married too.
You must be courageous to speak the truth. Not yours, there you go. You can have whatever kind of attitude you want, but again, if that's what you're putting out, that's what the universe is going to send back to you. If you're expecting everything else in your life to change, except for you, I would invite you to shift your focus back to yourself. That must change, and then you'll watch your world change. Charles Swindoll once said, life is about 10% of what happens to me, and about 90% of how I add the word choose, consciously choose to react to it. Traffic! We're in the Bay Area, there's traffic, of course. How many of you sit in the car and go, yeah, son of a wrecker, friend of traffic? Anybody? Great. You know what I do? I put on comedy. Or I put on an Audible book, right? Or I call a friend, right? Hey, how you doing? Are you in traffic again? Yes. How are you? We've got 18 feet of snow. Oh, great. I don't know which one of us has it worse right now. I'll take the traffic. I've been in snow before. So whatever you need to do to constantly dial your attitude up, work on that. I'm not saying you got to be happy all the time. We live in the real world. Sometimes you're having a not so good moment. So be it.
We had an episode once.
Okay, that's all right. Glad that you're here safe and sound.
Oh, I'm okay.
You're good? Okay, good. If you have a down moment, have a down moment. Experience that. Be mad if you want to. Be upset. Cry if you want to. Don't get stuck there. Have that moment, live it fully. Then when you're done, okay, I had that moment, woohoo! Now I'm back over here. You all familiar with the 4 stages of competence or skillfulness? The first stage is unconsciously unskilled. You don't know that you don't know anything. Here's teenagers, for example. Here's one way you can figure that out. If you say something or you do something and people look at you like, huh? You're probably in that stage. You just said or did a thing, and you were unaware that the thing you said or did makes no sense. Others around you figure that, oh, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. They may not yet have the courage to tell you, right? But you might want to look at that. After a while, you work yourself up to consciously unskilled. I know I don't know what I'm doing. You keep banging your head against that wall and go, okay, I see this is not working. It's me. It's amazing how many people don't make that leap. They just stay there. But if you can get to that level where you know that you don't know, woohoo, now you can start to work on things. Now you got some motivation, some desire, you make some plans. From there you get to the level of competence. You become consciously skilled. You learn some things. You apply some things. You have some success. Okay, I know how to do this now. Yay, go me. You're consciously competent. And if you've been doing this for a while, you eventually get to unconsciously competent. You just wake up fabulous. That requires some planning. That requires some systems. How many of you have ever gotten to that level, just unconsciously skilled? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Absolutely. And if you've been doing this, whatever this is, your career, profession, your life, for any amount of time, a significant amount of time, you figured some things out, right? You don't need the manual anymore. Well, some things. One thing you're good, there are other things. We're at all of these in various aspects of our lives, right? It's not like we're only here or only there, right? Maybe in real estate, okay, you're over here. But maybe in some other area of your life, parenting or dating or whatever, you might be in one of these other places, right? We're in all of these. Anybody read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell? This book about success, why certain people are successful, how they got to that level. And he says it's not always what you think. And in this book, he said, he issued this quote, and a lot of people, it's a subject of discussion. He says it takes about 10,000 hours of deliberate practice if you want to master a complex task, if you want to become an expert. Now you can master gum chewing, in 2 seconds, that's not a big deal. If you want to master real estate, okay, it might take you about 10,000 hours to do that. For those of you who aren't doing the math, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 44 weeks a year, you get to have some downtime, for about 5.5 years. That's how long it takes, roughly. Some things a little more, some things a little less. So whatever you're still struggling with, ask yourself, have I put in the time? Am I making time for deliberate, conscious, intentional practice? Look at what you're good at. Look at what you're unconsciously competent with. You've got more than 10,000 hours in that, haven't you? Yes? That's why you're at that level of mastery. Second question I want to ask you is, what part of your life right now is asking you for competence?
I'm making fun, teasing.
Okay, she's not part morning.
I'm fix it.
Is there a part of your life that is asking you to be a little more competent? And if so, what is that part? You don't have to share it, just you know what it is, right? What do you need to do in order to take a step towards being a little more competent in that part of your life? I would invite you to do that, to take that step. And don't wait, take it today. At least start to dream about it or plan or scheme about it today. Be courageous, thank you. Yeah, up yours, right here. Booyah! Here's the last C in my success formula for dialing your life up. We've talked about what? Courage. And next we need? Confidence. Here's the last thing. Confidence. Confidence. You can have a great vision, you can have a plan, you can have allies, and you go, I think I'm ready to do this. Oh, but I don't know. I don't know if I can. It might be hard. Who am I to be fabulous or courageous or talented?
Or rich.
Who am I not to be? Right? Or rich. Sometimes our issue is not failure, our issue is success and deservability. Who am I to deserve the vision that I have created? You are the one who deserves that because you created that vision. Why not you? Why not you? I dare you to be as imaginative, as creative, and as fun as you imagine yourself to be. I dare all of you. Be as fabulous as you imagine yourselves to be. Yeah. When I say confidence, I do not mean arrogance. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. Arrogance is this exaggerated sense of oneself, one's own importance or abilities. We've probably seen some examples of that out in the world somewhere recently. as I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go right up to that line and move on. What I'm talking about is confidence, where you have this assurance, self-assurance arising from your appreciation of your own talent, your own abilities, your own experience. Yes, I am confident I can do that because I have done that before. People ask me, James, do you ever get nervous in speaking? Not really. Why not? Because I've been doing this since I was 5 years old. And it's not about me. My focus is not on how I look or how I sound. My focus is on, can I say something today that helps somebody? So when I show up in service, there's no ego involved. I can be as bold and courageous, as confident as I want. It ain't about me. Does this make sense, folks?
Yes.
You got to have confidence to step into your dream. I'm half Native American. My father was full-blood Creek Indian. And there's a quote from the Lakota way that I thought I would share with you. When choosing a leader, we always kept in mind that humility provides clarity, where arrogance provides a cloud. And the last thing we wanted was to be led by someone whose judgment and actions were clouded by arrogance. Be careful who you align yourselves with. Be careful who you share your dreams with. Who you call ally. Surround yourselves with confident people, not arrogant. You got that? This is note-taking in the 21st century. She's got analog, I'm writing notes, and others, okay, that's good. I'm going to take that one. I love this quote by Henry David Thoreau. You all familiar with him? It's an author, Walden, right? I love this quote. He says, when you advance confidently in the direction of your dreams and endeavor to live the life you have imagined, visioned, you will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. But what do you have to do? You have to advance. You have to take action. How? Confidently, not timidly, not fearfully, when you march confidently in the direction of your dreams. What will happen? Success unexpected in common hours. The common consciousness is about maintaining the status quo. What he's talking about is an expanded consciousness that looks at what is next, what is possible, what could be. That's what progressive is. You will put some things behind. You will pass an invisible boundary. Sometimes that boundary is your own self-imposed limitations on what you think is possible for you. New universal and more liberal laws will begin to establish themselves around or within you, or the old laws will be expanded and interpreted in your behalf, in your favor. And I love this line. And you will live with the license of a higher order of beings. Have you ever known or been in the presence of a higher order of being? My sense is that there's many of them in this room. They walk through the world in a different way, don't they? When they walk in the room, there's just an energy about them, like, ooh, there's something about that person. Wow. They don't even have to speak. It's just an aura about them. And then you take a moment, you get to know them. You learn a little bit about their story. Then all of a sudden you start to feel better. You start to feel inspired. Something has shifted in you because you got in their energy field. And that rubbed off. And now you walk out of there thinking, wow, yeah, I think I ought to go be amazing. And then for some of you, you're like, yes, I'm going to be amazing. And you run confidently in the direction of your dreams. Hang out with people who turn you on. And be that kind of person that turns on others. Can you imagine living in a world where everybody is just turned on? Yeah. Just fully expressed and courageous and bold and daring? Oh. Wow! Woo. There's a thought. So what part of your life is asking for that kind of confidence? Maybe there's a conversation some of you have been putting off having because you haven't felt confident about it or courageous enough Maybe there's a thing that you need to sign up for. There's something you need to start. There's something you need to stop. What part of your life is asking for just a little more confidence from you? Maybe there's that job or promotion that you've been wanting. You're like, oh, I don't know if I'm up to it, if I'll get it. I'm not sure. No one's ever sure. Certainty is that thing that we crave, but we rarely, if ever, get. So those are my 3 C's of success if you want to dial your life up. We got to have what? Courage. Followed by? Confidence. Followed by? Confidence. Confidence. Does that make sense? Yes. How do you feel? Great. Confident? Okay. So that's how I spell success. And I'm going to leave you with this, and it's one of my favorite quotes from Einstein. He said, nothing happens until something moves. There is no such thing as static, as in an unchanging state. Things are either getting better because you are putting effort and energy into them, you're watering the plants, or things are just naturally falling into entropy. Systematic degradation of a thing. There is no static. They either work to get better, or things just fall apart on their own. So if you're waiting for something to happen in your life, if you're waiting for some movement, be that change that you're expecting. You show up and you make the movement happen. The 170 pounds you didn't just had a vision of dropping 170, and it was gone, right? That's not how that worked. Now you might have had a vision of like, I want to fit into certain clothes, I want to be able to have certain vitality in my life, but you had to do some things. You had to move, right? You didn't just become the governor of the state because you're, one day I would like to, right? You had to work at it, right? Whatever you've been successful at requires some movement in your life, ladies and gentlemen. So if you remember nothing else from today, if you want success, you got to move. And when you start moving, it's inevitable that you will eventually up yours. Thank you.
Probably, you can imagine, in a hot prospect when it comes to speaking. And we don't have a huge budget for that, but we do have a little token gift in here for you. And thank you for having us. We had, I want to tell you what the little incident was, because this kind of plays into your whole deal. Jeannie Anderson, please stand up. Jeannie Anderson is our new president-elect for 2013. She will be taking the baton from me and running with it. But what's interesting about Jeannie Anderson is she has 10 times more experience than I do. She's a Women's Council Realtor Pro expert, and there is something going on. All of you probably have experienced this stuff. There's a scam going on, and it's hit Women's Council, and they've sent out alerts. But what people do is they go and look, see who the new leadership is. They pretend that you're that person, kind of like wire fraud that we have rampant in our industry. Oh, I'm your realtor, and